Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement 2 Super Mini Mail Call, and let's jump right into it. I'm holding this box at this weird angle because there are labels on both sides here with personal information. This one comes from Brighton, Ontario. It looks like Thomas was the viewer. Hello to all my viewers in the great white north of Canada. Alrighty, I've opened it all the way up. Here is a letter. Oh, it comes from Mike. Sorry, Mike. It says, hey, Adrian, here's the tie we talked about. Not sure about how many of these are out there and thought you would enjoy it. I had some extra room in the package, so I hope you enjoyed the candy from up north. And Mike included a copy of the letter. So, yes, look at this. He happened to have like an Iomega Jazz tie. Like, what? What are the odds of something like this existing and surviving? Oh, it's not just the Jazz drive, it's like the zip drive, Jazz, Ditto, that was their tape solution. It's in pretty good shape too. Nice, and yeah, it's a full-on necktie for dressing up with a nice shirt. That is really cool. It goes with this other tie that I have here. It's an Acorn tie, yes, from Acorn as in the creators of ARM, which is in all our smartphones and laptops and everything these days. ARM stands for Acorn Risk Machine. So here's an Acorn tie all the way from the UK. This was sent in, I apologize, I forgot the viewer's name, but he sent this in as well. I really don't dress up much, but it would be funny, like if I ever did like a retro dress up thing, or maybe I went to give a talk at a convention or something, I could wear this tie or this Acorn tie. So that is awesome. All right, let's see what Mike has sent along as well. Haribo's Tang-tastics. Okay, I haven't heard of these before. I appreciate that people haven't been sending as much candy lately because I have to say, I have a lot of candy from 2021 still here in the basement. I keep it down here because it's nice and cool all the time in the basement, even if it's a super hot summer day. It's not hot down here. So the candy stays fresher longer, so it's kept out of in a box away from light as well. So I'm still working my way through all that candy, and you may see me eating some periodically on the bench. But yeah, there was a lot that was sent in last year, so I really appreciate everyone who did send in candy. I'm not really making candy reviews anymore because those seem to be supremely unpopular. But let's open this up. I've never tried these. They have French and English on them, of course, because being Canada, French is the national language along with English, so every package has to have both on it. Yeah, it's got the white stuff on it. I really like that. The milk candy that they typically don't have in North America much, but in Europe, very popular. Yeah, they're pretty tasty. They're just the usual citric acid sour coating on them, and there's sugar as well. So yeah, pretty yummy. Nice. And thank you very much for those, Mike. Let's see what's next. Okay, we have some Happy Colas, Haribo Happy Colas. Pretty standard stuff here. Gold Bears, standard issues, although they look very, what's the right word? The color of these is less bright than the ones they sell in the US. So I almost have a feeling that the ones they sell in Canada are similar to the ones they sell in Europe. I don't know why this has a stick-on UPC code. It does have French and English on here, but maybe these are made in Germany or something. It does say Germany right here, so I don't know. Definitely don't seem as bright and vibrant as the US ones, and I think the US ones have one less flavor as well. So that's pretty cool. But here is the coup de grace, so to speak, coffee crisps. If you ever go to Canada, get yourself some coffee crisps. These are so good. They're chocolate bars and they have like a crispy honeycomb in there. Made by Nestle, not sold in the US for whatever reason, because I don't think I've ever heard of a person that had these and didn't like them very much. So I really, really appreciate you sending these in. I feel kind of bad because I went over to a friend's house last night for a dinner party and I would have brought one of these for everyone to share because everyone loves coffee crisps. So that is awesome. Thank you very much for that, Mike. And thank you very much for sending in this pretty hilarious tie and these Haribo candies. That is awesome. All right, well, since that last one was kind of short, let's do another package. This one comes from Jesse, also in Canada. This one comes from British Columbia, so west coast of the country. Just up the road, so to speak, from here in Portland. You just get on Interstate 5 and you make your way to the border, and then you're in Canada. Let's see what is in here. This feels like a t-shirt. Ooh, it is. All right, let's see. There is a letter here. Let's see what the letter says. Dear Adrian, here's the t-shirt as promised. Sorry it took me another month after your reply to mail it. I mean, no problem. I am the worst at replying to emails, so I apologize to everyone who sent emails. I just barely have time to make videos and stuff, and it's pretty tough sometimes, and I feel really guilty for not replying to messages. So just know that it's there, and I will try to get to it eventually, but I have a lot of mail in my inbox that I haven't been able to get to. So again, huge apologies. And if you feel like it, send me another message, like reply to your sent message, so it kind of brings it up to the top. Maybe then I'll have a chance to see it. Oh, Jesse goes on to say, I designed this after watching one of your repair videos for the umpteenth time. The culprit was a bad electrolytic capacitor. It was a bad cap, you exclaimed, shaking your finger at it. Why do caps go bad? Poor parenting, a failure of society. Maybe they were born bad. Oh, that's too funny. But sometimes good caps just go bad. Hope you enjoy the shirt. Thanks for all the great frequent and long form content. You've helped keep many of us sane and entertained during the pandemic. P.S. I'd hoped to send you an original floppy disk for Switcher, what Apple's Multifinder was previously called. Unfortunately, I was unable to find it, and it probably doesn't work anymore anyways. PPS, if you really get a kick out of the shirt, feel free. All right, let's just check the size. Yes, it's large. Awesome. Oh, I love this shirt. It is so good. This is so good. Oh, Jesse, this is a great shirt. Oh, the brown gunk and everything. Oh, this is too funny. This would have been from the IBM 9-inch VGA monitor repair video, right? That's gotta be where this is from, because it had all that brown gunk. And it was a bad cap that kept that monitor from working. It was shorting one of the rails. All right, I actually have another package here from Jesse. I'm shooting this out of order a little bit because after I had already recorded that segment you just saw, this arrived. So I'm just covering up an address label here. Let's see. Oh, there's another t-shirt here. I think what this is another version of it. The one you're gonna see at the link to the t-shirt store, which of course will be in the description. So the new one is very similar. Sometimes good caps just go bad. We have a disc cap that's smoking a cigarette. We have a leaked SMD electrolytic. And then we have a regular through-hole electrolytic that it says resist, or it's a resistor. So let's just call this t-shirt the version 2 shirt, inspired by all those caps on my channel and everyone else's channel that have gone bad and caused issues with machines. So if you want to check out one of these or get one of these t-shirts for yourself, please click on that link and you can order it from Jesse's TeePublic link. So that is fantastic. Love this. God. Okay. Anyways, so thank you very much, Jesse, for sending this in. Really, really appreciate it. This is just awesome. All right. Well, since we've been going pretty quick through packages, why don't I get to another one? Let's just keep this going. This one was mailed back in November, and I actually have had it for a little while. I think I got it back in January, so I'm just getting around to it right now. And this package, which I'm covering because there is information all around it, so I don't want to reveal anything, it comes from Russia. And of course, it goes without saying that my viewer here has nothing to do with any of this stuff that's going on in the world right now, so I just want to make sure that everyone keeps their comments nice about what's going on. And let's open this up. All right, inside we have just a little package here. It's very light, so assuming there's like maybe a chip or something interesting in here. I gotta say, I have a very soft spot in my heart for old Soviet Union chips. You know, that was a different world back then, right, in the Soviet Union, and Electronics, you know, in the West, we had plentiful Commodores and whatever back in the 80s and the 70s and stuff. But in the Soviet Union, there wasn't that same access. So there was a big market for domestically produced ICs and electronic components, a lot of which were clones of the Western parts. So like an 8088, 8086, Z80, stuff like that. As we discussed in emails a while ago, here's a Soviet clone of the 8088 in cool looking plastic package. It's untested, unfortunately, as I don't own an IBM PC or clone. Computers in the USSR weren't sold to civilian population and were instead manufactured by the government to be used in the military, accounting centers, and fancy schools. And not many were made, so they are quite rare or pricey to find nowadays. Fingers crossed that this 8088 works, and if it doesn't, you can put it on display or something like that. And apologies for the delay, it got kind of busy and I kept forgetting to send this to you, but better late than never. And thank you for the amazing videos. I haven't caught up with the latest stuff yet, unfortunately, but I hope to in the coming cold Russian winter, since your channel always warms my heart. From Russia, with love, Alexander. Thank you very much, Alexander. That is awesome. Like I said, I have a real soft spot in my heart for these types of things because it's just, these chips are unusual and different, and they're also really well made, but super cool. Wow, look at this, everyone. This is super cool. Look at the packaging. I have never seen anything like this, and this looks like new old stock. That is super, super cool. So I actually have a little collection of other Soviet era chips. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, well, I can't seem to find them right now, but I did end up buying off eBay like a Z80 clone, and I think I have an 8086 clone as well. And they don't look anything as cool as this, though. I hope this chip is in focus. I just want to show how cool it looks. How absolutely neat. All right, well, I do want to test out this chip, and I have the old clone motherboard right here. This is the one I did a repair, I think it was on the second channel. I have 2 videos, if I recall, about this. This thing had weird malfunctioning DMA. I'll just get this thing out of the bag here. It would prevent it from booting up at all. Like, it would just cause it to not boot. In the end, I think the issue was that IC right there. So it's in the socket now. That single IC caused all sorts of issues. But notice I socketed like the interrupt controller and the DMA controller, whichever one of them they are here. You know, thinking that those were problematic, and of course they weren't, but of course there was no damage done to the board. I also have right now PC Turbo ROM in here, and I have BASIC as well, so IBM BASIC is in this motherboard. Anyhow, it is just a normal 8088. Hopefully this is an 8088. So like I said, the part number on here, oh, it's from 1993, by the way. That's awesome. KP1810BM88. So that kind of would make you think it is an 8088. But like I said, I have an 8086 version, and you cannot just take an 8086 and stick it in an 8088 motherboard. Same number of pins, they both have 40, but they are not compatible with each other. Now I need to find my lead former. Where is that thing? I've used it recently, and it's on the bench here, underneath something, I'm sure. I'm always so messy on the bench. All right, well, I can't seem to find the lead former, so I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, because the legs are quite splayed out on this IC, since this thing's never been used, I don't think. Against the table, well, it's against the anti-static mat in this case. Now, if this IC works, it's gonna be functionally identical to the Intel part. There'll be no discernible difference. Like, programs will work exactly the same. All right, everything is in, it looks good. So let me grab a power supply and let's test this chip out. All right, the XT motherboard hooked up to a power supply. VGA monitor is connected to this 8-bit VGA card, and the XT IDE is in here. Plus I have an XT keyboard connected. Let me double check I have the notch the correct way around. Yep, I do. Here we go. All right, that implies the processor works because it is initializing the video. Look at that, everyone. It says 8088 CPU, EGA, VGA graphics. There's no clock or game port, that's the BIOS. It works, this thing freaking works. That is super cool. It didn't boot properly, but I think it's because I was trying to load like high memsys and things like that. Let me reboot again, holding down Shift so DOS 6.22 doesn't try to run auto exec and whatever. I obviously use this compact flash card on other systems that are probably 286, 386, or 486s. I think I might have missed it. Nope, I did. There we go. It works. Look at that, everyone. Let's go to check it. I will do some benchmarks for the main system just because I think everyone will be super curious how fast this thing is. It's going to be a 1.0 to the XT, I am sure. I think, at least. Let's see what it does. 344 dry stones. And there we have it, 1.0 and 1.01. It's just basically exactly the same as the Intel 8088, the original version. Maybe this thing can be clocked up to run at a higher speed. This computer, this particular motherboard here, only runs at 4.77 megahertz, so I cannot test that. But I can confirm that at least at the stock speeds, it works as well as this Intel chip does. So this chip is just an interesting relic of the old days. Gets pretty warm too. Maybe those holes there for like cooling or something. Like this thing needs active cooling? Maybe not. It's not burning hot. It is quite warm though. This original Intel chip also gets quite warm if I recall, but this one definitely gets hot. But I have found in the past using some old like Soviet era replica chips, there were all sorts of them like 2114 SRAM chips, processors, even the PLA chip for the 64. I have some replicas, Soviet replicas of the 82S100. They're very seemingly reliable, all those chips. They seem to work really, really well. And maybe that has something to do with what Alexander said in his note here, is that things like computers were super uncommon back in the old days. So anything that did use them was like for military or government use. So I assume they were built to very high standards just to be super reliable in the long term, because you'd get a computer like an XT clone if you were lucky to have one back then. You might have it for 30 years because that would be your only computer you'd ever have, potentially. I'm kind of making this up, but I think as far as I understand, those were really a lot of the design goals for this stuff, which is probably why a lot of it is seemingly very reliable. So thank you very much, Alexander, for sending in this really, really cool looking 8088 clone Soviet chip. And thank you very much, Jesse, for this amazing t-shirt. Don't forget to check out the link in the description below if you want to order one of these for yourself. And then thank you, Mike, for sending in the Haribo, the Coffee Crisp, and the iOmega tie. Maybe I could wear the tie and the t-shirt together. Okay, maybe not. Thank you very much, everyone, again. Thanks to my patrons. Their names are shown off the side of the screen. If you want to become a patron, you can do so at the link in the description below. If you haven't already subscribed to the second channel, I would definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I think that is going to be that. So stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.